remember boom bap, original rap? Do you remember that funky hardcore sound that used to make you wanna get down when dudes are sampling beats by James Brown? Can you remember the time Rakim and Kane was the top of their class and used to reign the stage? Everybody loved how the East Coast got down. What's up with the East Coast nowadays? Where did all the respect go? Why don't nobody respect the East no more? The East had so much originality back in the day. They was room for all types of sounds. It's been a long time since that's been around. They lost their identities trying to sound like everyone else who started to sell. Now the music done went to hell. First the West started popping and the East got scared when the dark round came through, stomping on buildings, acting a fool. If people thought that shit was cool, they made a few good responses, but there were no huge dark trash popular rappers got on. To me this started the downfall. Now they get hardly any respect at all. After there were a few groups still doing their thing before the East let the South creep in. The South really took off and left the East barely hanging on before it all went wrong. East Coast radio started playing more down South music, and then artists from the East hopped on the bandwagon and started to use it. You can't get the respect you want using someone else's sound, so the music went into the ground. These days you can still hear reminiscence of the real East Coast sound due to a lot of old 90s heads still hanging around. You got dudes like Nas still making music with young producers like Hipster. He make good music. Bookie young heads ain't taking the blues with the use it. He had a versus the love of day and chose to play only one song out of 6 the albums they did together 30 years ago. This would have been taken as a sign of disrespect, but the East Coast don't even got themselves in check. That's because they really isn't no East no more. Unless you listen with old school, that's when they get a little respect, because to the finest you still pay homage. We're not even gonna get too heavy into what these new artists is doing with this East Coast drill sound. They stole from Chicago for the current sound. I see why the respect was lost, because they was failed by older heads who should have pulled them aside and got them back to a real East Coast music. That's the problem and where it went wrong. Now everybody is telling them they waited too long, and now they think the audience has moved on. It's a whole new generation they could have tried the music on and never gave them a chance to hear it.